Hello. What would you consider to be a good storage onion? When you've lifted your onions and dried them off and put some to store, how long would you expect those onions to store? Would you expect to lose some? Does a month sound about right for storing onions? The onions you're looking at now, incidentally, are Ailsa Craig, and these are my last crop of summer onions. And I have them in store currently in my garage, which is predominantly cold and dark, and they're stored in plastic boxes, and I've been for quite some time now, and I'm really pleased with them. But I was concerned when I harvested these onions. I did get some comments that said they weren't such a good storage onion, and because I'd had a real good return, that made me believe I was really going to have to start and eat these onions, and eat them fairly quickly, because they wouldn't store. So what I'm going to do now, I've had a look on the internet at various seed selling sites, seed merchants, and I've had a look to see what they say about storing onions, and in particular Ailsa Craig. Now, I visited 7 sites. I'm going to put that up for you now to have a read. Have a read of this, and there is one fairly common underlying statement in all of those, apart from a couple. And basically what they say is that Ailsa Craig is not recommended for long storage, and that it doesn't store well. Have a read of these, then come back to me and we'll carry on with this slideshow. Okay, so these are the Ailsa Craigs that I've grown. Let me just take you back over the story. This was me harvesting my onions last year. I grew these onions in half of an 8 foot by 4 foot raised bed. So these onions were grown in a bed in an area of ground 4 foot by 4 foot, and this is me harvesting them in the first week in September, which is the first of our autumn months here in the UK. So summer had just finished, and this was me harvesting onions in our first month in autumn in the UK. These are the onions laid out on the garden. Now if you want you can count those. I think there's about 60. But they all came from an area of ground 4 foot by 4 foot. I was absolutely gobsmacked when I got all those onions. And I think within that bed only one onion bolted, only one onion went to seed, and these are Ailsa Craigs that I grew on from seed, that I started indoors from seed and planted out later in the year. I couldn't believe how many onions I'd actually managed to get across the finish line. It was unbelievable. I'd never done it before. So this is us in first week in September, our first autumn month. I actually built this drying rack outdoors. As you can see, it's a bit of a Heath Robinson contraption. I put the onions on there, and it was my expectation I'd leave them on there for about a month like that to dry out. But the UK weather never let us down. It started to rain, and it looked like it didn't want to stop raining for a number of days, and so these onions were never going to dry out outdoors. They just weren't. It was too late in the year to be trying to dry onions outdoors here in the UK. So I moved the onions indoors. I built another Heath Robinson type of frame, and as you can see, they've still got the green leaves on top. I haven't actually taken those off yet, and I think they stood in that rack in my garage with the door open to allow some ventilation. I think they stood there for about 2 to 3 weeks, just hung on that rack. Okay, these are some of my Ailsa Craigs after 2 months in store. So we took them off the rack, we took the green tops off them. I left about 4 inches of stem on there, sat the onions in these spent mushroom crates and kept them in the garage. Now I thought after a month perhaps I'll be seeing some problems, some issues, but this is a screenshot taken from my onions in store after 2 months, and I have to say at that point in time I had not lost a single onion, and they were all looking solid, sound, healthy onions after 2 months. Here we go. We're now on 3 months. So these onions have been in store 3 months. Now I think the message you got from the text that you've just read is they don't store very well. Well, 3 months acceptable surely for storing an onion. This is a summer onion stored. We're now into the first winter month, I would imagine, and these onions have stored all through autumn, and we're now into the winter months, and they're still looking good. There aren't as many of them, but they are still looking good 3 months in storage. What we're going to do now, I'm going out to the garage to get the onions that are left. I'm going to pop them up in front of this camera, and these onions are now on 4 months in storage, and I have not lost a single onion. These are my Ailsa Craigs. How's that looking? Nothing wrong with these guys. These onions have been in store now for a month. They're solid, absolutely rock solid. These are good onions, and these are good storage onions. Despite what you've just read, despite what other people might tell you, these onions will store for 4 months. I've just done it in a cold garage in these plastic crates. Nothing special. So if you're growing onions, and storage might be something that that you want to think about how long will you be able to keep them if you grow them. These Ailsa Craigs have stored for 4 months. We're going into the 5th month now. I couldn't ask for any more than that. You couldn't ask for any more than that, could you? These are a great tasting onion, and they are a great onion for storage. Yeah, so I would recommend them. Ailsa Craig, grown from seed, stored in a cold garage in the United Kingdom, 4 months. That's a result, isn't it? And of the original 60 onions that went to store, I think I now have about 10 or 12 remaining, and I've lost none. None of these onions have had to be thrown out. They're all, the ones that aren't here have been eaten, and the ones that are here will be eaten. Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.